My name is Tom Murphy. I'm with K&J Trucking, based in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. My title is Director of Business Development, so essentially I look for different ways to diversify the business, add new customers, while maintaining relationships with existing customers. Our fleet is about 125 trucks on any given day. We're always looking to grow, and we're about an 80-20 owner-operated fleet, with the rest being company trucks. Especially this last year, we're a very safe fleet, and we take, like many fleets our size, we take safety very seriously. There's so few things that we can control in our industry, but we figure that safety is one of those that we can kind of clamp an eyeball on, as far as having a safe set of drivers, continuing education, continuing training, and just putting little thoughts in the men and women's minds that are driving our trucks every day to just make sure that, in a world full of chaos, you can control your speed, you can control your following distance, you can control how you're driving on our roads. We saw a substantial increase in our insurance rates this year, which was quite a shock, especially coming from a company with such a great safety rating as what we have. So we're talking more than double digits. I don't want to get into specifics, but it was enough where I said, I can't just pass that on to one customer. I've got to figure out a way to try to recoup some of that because it's such a huge input cost to what we do. I suspect that the insurance rates in this country are going up is a function of a lot of the nuclear verdicts that you're seeing in our industry. I suspect that the insurance industry would rather settle a case out of court rather than try a case in open court and risk a nuclear verdict. So in those cases, they've got to increase rates across the board. I suspect that they're also somewhat gun shy about taking a lot of these cases to court simply because we have entities, both foreign and domestic, that are bankrolling essentially some of these large litigatable cases. With that being said, in my opinion, if you're going to have your name on a lawsuit, if you're going to be involved in a lawsuit and you're going to have your money bankrolling a lawsuit, then at the very least put your name on that lawsuit. And we're talking entities that are overseas where even if they were to win a verdict, all of that money is not going to go where it belongs to the plaintiff. I mean, it's going to go overseas in a lot of cases, or at the very least, if it's a domestic case, it's going to go out of state. That does me no good, and frankly, it doesn't do anybody any good. It may not change the verdict itself or the final, but in my humble opinion, I believe if you're going to have your money behind something, then at least put your name on it. I believe the general public should be concerned with all of my input costs simply because I end up having to. I didn't get into trucking to become a millionaire. I don't think anybody did, but I've got to make a certain amount of money on every load that I haul. Otherwise, it doesn't pay to even turn the key on the truck to haul that load. So the general public should absolutely be concerned with that because I have to pass on my input costs ultimately to my customers, and my customers end up passing that on to the final consumer. We haul an awful lot of food goods throughout the country, and those are the things that end up on grocery store shelves. So if I have to pass those on, the final consumer is going to see that as well. We support over 200 families in our business, so we take things very seriously when it comes to the well-being and the welfare of those employees and the general public for that matter. And seeing some positive movements in the tort reform arena would certainly help ease some of the pressures and the pains that we see in business every day. We are not of the faint of heart. In the trucking industry, you've got to have a strong backbone, otherwise you won't survive. But there's some of these things where if we could see a little relief in some of these arenas, it would certainly ease the tension and make it just a little bit easier to do business. And ultimately, we would pass those savings on to the final consumer.